Hey everybody, welcome to Big Valley Living. I'm JJ.
And I'm Michelle. How are you doing today? We are part of a really fun collaboration that is co-hosted by Leanne at Mennonite Farmhouse and
Tony at Kettle Kitchen.
And the hashtag for this lovely collaboration is Pies of March 2023. I have to make sure I get everything just so. At this point, there are 33 collaborators. We've already watched the first 10 and they are amazing. So please be sure to go and watch those. There are all kinds of different pies. There are, dessert pies, savory pies. I have just seen so much. You guys, you're all gonna wanna try them.
And unconventional pies.
Very unconventional pies. That's true, huh? We will list all the channels in our description below. And what you want to do is make sure that you see the logo for the Pies of March. I'm going to put it up kind of over in this neighborhood on our video. And also the hashtag Pies of March 2023. And that will let you know that these are the collaborators. Other people may use those hashtags and everything, but the important thing is that if you see those two items and watch and make a thoughtful comment to each one of the collaborators in there, you will be eligible for the grand prize drawing. The grand prize will be a live giveaway on April 3rd, 2023 on the Mennonite Farmhouse channel. Make sure that you tune in. I'll put the time of when she's going to be putting that in. So anyway, the grand prize is a $100 e-gift card from Amazon. That's awesome. I don't know about you guys, but we use that a lot in our house. And then I have to read this because there are so many great things being given away for this collaboration. If you're live at the grand prize drawing, there are going to be all kinds of fun gifts given away, and so you don't want to miss that either. Okay, so what you want to know is that the grand prize again is a $100 Amazon e-card, but these other gifts sound really good. We have a set of 4 pie plates, a baking mat set with a rolling pin, a Hulison biscuit cutter set. It's a 5-piece set. Hand pie molds for apple, pumpkin, and acorn shapes. Oh my God, how cute. And a Your Kitchen Premium Culinary Butane Torch. Oh my gosh, you guys. We got our first torch last year, and it's a lot of fun for creme brulee, at least. Again, make sure that you comment and watch every one of the videos this month, okay? Because already we've seen so many good things. So we made for you a tamale pie. So this is a savory pie that we made for dinner. And I'm excited because what does it take? 15, 20, no.
No, about 35 minutes. It's about 35 minutes.
35 minutes.
But it's super yummy.
And a lot of it is hands-off time.
Well, let's go get hands-on.
And here are our ingredients for our skillet tamale pie. We have 1 packet of McCormick Original Taco Seasoning, and it is 1 ounce. I'm gonna use a little salt and pepper, and then we have 1 pound of ground beef. We generally use a 91 or a 90-10 blend, so we like leaner ground beef. Then we're going to be using 8 ounces out of this 16-ounce jar of tomato sauce. We're going to be using 1 undrained can of kidney beans. These are home canned things, but you can use what you get at the store very easily. And then their recipe doesn't call for it. It's from McCormick. Their recipe doesn't call for it, but we like corn, and I will drain the corn. We also use 3/4 cup of water. We are also going to be using 1 package of corn muffin mix. So Jiffy is what I grew up with. My mom always used it. She's from Detroit, and apparently so is Jiffy. And that will require 1 egg and 1/3 cup of water. And then the final ingredients are 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese, I like sharp, and a 1/4 cup of sliced green onion, which is about 3 green onions. So we'll prepare all that as well. Well, let's get to cooking. We're gonna brown this meat on medium high. Got my little mix and chop, little Pampered Chef tool here. Do you need it? No, but you know you want one. Because our meat is very lean, we're not gonna have to drain any fat. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my seasoning packet before the meat's completely cooked, because I really like to have that extra flavor in there, and it just tends to cook in there a little bit better when the meat is not completely cooked before adding the spices. All right, time for the tomato sauce. We've got a good seal, everything's looking yummy. We're gonna use half of this tomato sauce, a little more than half. I'm gonna put the kidney beans in. Good seal on that one as well. Now this has the juice with it. I'm gonna add the 3/4 cup of water. There we go. This would be a can of corn if you were using a can from the store. And now I've switched to a little spatula here. And there's a little bit of fond on the bottom, so I'm going to take that fond now to add that goodness to everything. Okay. Now we've got all that goodness going on. I am going to put just the tiniest bit, tiny bit of black pepper. We don't use a lot of salt in our canned goods, so I am going to throw in a pinch now. And that wasn't even 1/8 of a teaspoon total. All right, so now we cover. We're going to bring to a boil.
Excuse me.
Bless you. Oh. We are boiling. At this point, we'll put the lid back on, turn it down to low, and simmer. I'm actually going to turn it to 2.5 on my stove, and let it simmer for 10 minutes. Okay. So we took it down to a simmer from the boil, and now I'm going to put the lid on my pan, and I've already reduced it to low, and we are going to simmer for 10 minutes. Now we're going to make our Jiffy muffin mix. Okay, that's a 8.5 ounce box, which is 1 perfect serving. I'm going to add my milk. Again, that was 1/3 cup. Oops, and now I'm going to do my egg. Ooh, that's a nice big one. And I always crack it into another bowl just to make sure that we don't have any eggshell that accidentally makes its way into our bowl. Now with this mix, you mix just until combined, so there are going to be lumps in it, okay? You don't want it to be super smooth. We'll talk about Jiffy, this seriously is super fast. Classic homemade cornbread has buttermilk, and you have to soak everything for a little bit, so this works quite well. Now I like to get this ready a few minutes ahead of time so it can kind of incorporate. Now you see there's still little lumps in there, and I am not going to mix it anymore. Lift the lid away from you. I turned it up a little bit at the end, and I stirred it a couple times between just to make sure that nothing was sticking. Now the next step is to take that cornbread that we just prepared. And see, this is why I like to do it a little ahead of time, because it gets more incorporated. And we're gonna take it by spoonfuls, small spoonfuls it says. This meal is something that I, for whatever reason, remember my mom making, because I don't think she made it that many times, but it was one of the things that she made like over the course of a summer in like the mid-70s when we were kids. And I happened to look it up, and I called my brother. I said, "Do you remember this recipe?" And he said, "Yeah." And when I read through it, I just plopped some of it on the counter. When I read through the recipe, my brother says, "I think there was corn in it." And I said, "I think there was too." So that's why we put the corn in here, because it's the way we remembered it. She might have just added it on her own, knowing Mom. All right, so I'm just going to get the rest of this out. And I like to kind of get it covered over the top. And that is it. Now, I'm going to cover it back up. I turned it down to 2 because we want it closer to the low side. And then I'm going to cover again. I'm going to set my timer. And 20 minutes is the perfect amount of time. So, I'll see you then. Our 20 minutes are up, and this should be nice and puffy. Let's see. I haven't even lifted it out. Woo! Hot stuff. Lift it away from yourself. Oh, look at that cornbread puffed up. Oh my gosh, it's perfect. This is such a great meal. We had a huge birthday party here today. This is such a great meal when you want to make something really quick, maybe after dinner, maybe you've had a long day working in the yard. So you see how it's still kind of simmering there. The next thing we're gonna do is put our cheese on top. I put a little more cheese than 1 cup, okay? I'm not gonna lie. But it doesn't have to be too crazy, so this is probably 1.5 cups. And then I'm gonna cover it until the cheese melts, which doesn't really take long, a couple minutes. And it's still too hot to touch. I'll set the timer for about 2 minutes. Ooh, look at that melty cheese. That looks so good. All right, it's done. So I'm gonna turn my stove off. They recommend putting the green onions on when you put the cheese on there. I'm gonna tell you guys what you want is crispy, crunchy, cold to contrast all this melty deliciousness. So what I do is dish it up and then put my nice green onions on top after that.
So that wasn't too bad. Tamale pie, it's not a conventional pie, that's for sure. However, it is super yummy, and I'm ready to just dig in. So
don't forget to look in our description for all of the collaborators for the month of March. Make sure that you watch them, comment, consider subscribing to everybody's channels. I want to really give another really big thank you to Leanne at Mennonite Farmhouse and Tony at Kettle Kitchen for inviting us to be a part of this collaboration. And don't forget, April 3rd, you're going to want to be there for this grand prize drawing, because there will be a lot of really fun gifts given away during the collaboration finale. So thanks for enjoying this retro meal that, had you ever had it before?
no.
JJ had never had it, and I was like, man, I am just craving this thing. So we've had it a couple times. I must make note, if you're still hanging around, thank you so much. I was skeptical about steaming this Jiffy cornbread mix on top of the pie on the stovetop, and you guys, it is so light and fluffy, I'll never go back. I think the only thing I would do differently the next time might be to add some either mild green chilies or possibly some diced jalapeno peppers. Don't you think that'd be
Perhaps. Green chilies, yeah, that would probably be good. thank you very much for coming by and hanging out with us for a little while. We really appreciate you. And share, and subscribe would be awesome. That's the only way that we're able to do this. Share it with your friends. We really appreciate you stopping by. See you later, everybody.
Be kind.